Many, many moons ago, I used to work at a restaurant. We gonna call it McDud's. Now, I worked at this restaurant for a few years. I was in my 20s, and of course I knew I was at a dead-end job, but I always tried to do my best on the job. I was always there on time, if not early. I came and did what I was supposed to do. I even worked my way up to be a shift manager. Can you believe that? Well, after many, many years of working here, apparently there was a new manager that had been working there for some time, and she had got fired. Now, I did not work Sunday or Monday at McDud's, and I hadn't for many years. However, because this manager got fired, they changed the schedule. Now, at the time, there were two schedules, one in the office and one in the crew room. And the one in the office did reflect that they wanted me to work on Sunday. I did not check that schedule. However, I was already aware that I was off on Sundays. Didn't feel I needed to check the schedule because they had never changed it. So lo and behold, a few days go by and then Sunday approaches. I get a call at 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, at this time, I used to have to be at work at 4 a.m. By the time 7 o'clock came, I had no idea why they wanted to call me. So I pick up the phone. It's the district manager, and they're screaming at me. "Where are you?" I said, "Excuse me? I'm off today." "The schedule says you're supposed to be open at 4 o'clock. I said, 4 o'clock? I mean, I was really shocked and surprised. I had no idea that I was supposed to be there at all. Again, didn't check the schedule because I have always been off every Sunday and Monday. So she's screaming, going crazy because I'm not there. I asked them, I said, "Well, I'm so sorry. If I knew I was supposed to be there, I would have been there." "You knew? You didn't check the schedule." I again apologized because at this point in my life, I did not know how to really stand up for myself like I should have, and offered to come in and said, "No, I don't want you to come in. Matter of fact, you're suspended for a whole week." I was livid and so upset, and I could not believe that now. So I go down to the main office, which is quite a bit of ways from where I work, and I go and talk to the owner. Now, I have talked to this owner several times. Actually, at one point, we were so busy. After years and years of not having help, I actually walked out of the job, and this man had asked me to come back. So at this point, I'm thinking he's my ally, right? He really sees my work effort and understands that, I'm a hardworking McDud employee. That was not the case. Apparently, this district manager was their lapdog. And so when I get there, somehow she magically appears. Had no idea that she was even anywhere near the office. I'm thinking that she's still at McDud's helping them get the store open because she had to come in to help. She walks in as I'm pleading and crying my heart out to the manager and telling him about the incident that occurred and how I had no idea I was supposed to be there because I was usually off on Sunday and Mondays. She comes in and says, "She's lying, Bob. She knew she was supposed to be there." And then Bob looks at me and he says, "Well, I'm going to have to go with Martha on this one." And then I look at him and said, "Are you serious? I've been coming in here all this time. I've never called off work unless I was absolutely had to. I've never not showed up for work." And he looks me in my eyes and he says, "People change." I never forgot that because I could not believe that this man told me people change. I just looked at him and I said, "Wow, okay." And I left. So I dealt with being suspended for a week, and I was really salty about it. A few days go by, Sunday, Monday pass, and I think it's a Thursday morning, and I'm sitting at home and watching TV, and all of a sudden my aunt texts me and said, "Hey, Danny, you okay? I heard your job got robbed." I said, "Huh?" I was so confused. She said, "Yeah, on the news. There was a break-in at your job." I couldn't believe it. So I go and turn on the news, and it turns out that my job had got robbed. Now, mind you, I had been working there for about almost 3 years at this point, and nothing like that had ever happened. So apparently a couple of knuckleheads just came in early in the morning and just jumped through the drive-through window. They took, pew-pew. They took the manager and one of the crew people and the maintenance man and put them all into a room and had the manager by the pew pew, and trying to get money. Well, unfortunately, and maybe fortunately, this new manager had just started, and they could not remember the code to the safe. So they try to go in her bag. There's nothing in the bag. She's got a bag full of paperwork. It's looks like a purse. There's nothing in it. And they get nothing, they up here hitting her upside the head when they couldn't get the money open. And apparently they got away with nothing. They got scared and ended up leaving. So while I'm so grateful that nobody got hurt, I could not believe that happened because I was supposed to be there that day. Back to the story at hand, I'm on the phone with my aunt and letting her know that, hey, they suspended me. Told her what happened, how I had been going to work and doing everything that I'm supposed to do, going above and beyond, not just showing up, and got suspended. Well, at the time, my aunt lived with my grandfather, and when he got wind of the story, he asked me, said, how much do you make in a week? I told him what my salary was, and he paid my week's pay. So not only did I still get paid while being suspended, I also didn't get a pew-pew upside the head, because I would have been there that day, and I bet you it probably would have turned out a whole lot differently. So the moral of the story is, sometimes the bad things that happen to you actually turn out to be in your benefit or in your favor. So I'm really grateful that I got suspended that day. And you know what, Bob? You're right. People do change.